Super Monkey Ball? It's good. You want a better introduction than that? I don't know what to tell you. Super Monkey Ball's fucking good. Okay? We on the same page? Yeah, game's good. In 2001, Sega's newly formed Amusement Vision subsidiary developed an arcade game called Monkey Ball. Originally, it was supposed to be ported to the Sega Dreamcast, but if you're not familiar with that piece of the company's history, the Dreamcast kinda didn't sell very well, to put it lightly, and so Sega made history by releasing it instead on the Nintendo Gamecube as a launch title, marking their first game on a Nintendo console.
それだとボールが余ってしまう。
ではその猿と結婚して子供の頃から夢だった一戸建てを。
それだとボールが余るじゃん。
構いません。夢を実現させたいのです。
ボールはボールに入った猿を転がしてバナナを取る。スーパーモンキーボール。ごめんね。
So, it's launch day. You've just bought a GameCube and you've finally worn out Tarzan Untamed. You decide to pop in one of the other launch titles, Super Monkey Ball. After starting your game, you're greeted with 4 characters to pick from. Ai, Mimi, Baby, and Gon. Ai and Mimi are married, and Baby is their son, which confuses me. The institution of marriage, of holy matrimony, exists in Monkeyland? Is there a Monkey Christ? Also, what the fuck is Gon's deal? These other people are a happy family, and he's just there. What's his motivation? I think in the later games they established that he's friends with Ai, but I was under the assumption that this was a family quest. I don't know for what exactly, but you know. He actually wasn't even in the arcade version, so his inclusion strikes me as odd, but, you know, I still like him. Actually, you know what, let's cover this while we're on the character select screen. Most of the characters establish a naming convention where it's like one syllable repeated twice, you know, Ai, Mimi, Gon. But Baby breaks that. What's his excuse? The fact that his name is an actual word can't justify this. If anything, that just makes it worse, because his parents decided that instead of following what was clearly a monkey tradition, they were literally just gonna name their child Baby. That might seem cute now, but probably not when he's like 56. You think you're so fucking special because you're young and you don't have to pay taxes and work a 9-to-5 job you fucking hate. But soon you're gonna be in the same rut as the rest of us, trying to claw your way up the corporate hierarchy just so you can stomp over all the other monkeys who got you there. Fucking capitalist scum. Anyways, when you start the game, your monkey is thrust onto a stage without warning and the game's objective becomes clear. And of course, being a monkey, you go around collecting bananas. If you collect 100 bananas, you get an extra life. The concept for the gameplay is incredibly simple at its core, but what really makes it shine is the combination of clever level design and tight controls. That's something that would have been so easy for them to fuck up, but the fact that the controls are as responsive as they are means that every death feels like your fault, not the game's. And as a result, you feel more motivated to keep trying until you get it down. The GameCube controller also proves itself to be a perfect fit for the game just because of the way the analog stick is housed in the controller. This is such a stupidly specific detail, but the GameCube's analog stick is housed in such a way where it's surrounded by 8 corners rather than by a rounded area like, say, the PS2. And as a result, the controls are even more precise, which is so important for a game like this. One imprecise movement, one extra force on the control stick is the difference between a goal and a fallout. A lot of levels seem really straightforward at first glance, but if you're skilled, you can do some really crazy shortcuts and skips. The speedrun community for this game is fucking unbelievable. This is the sort of depth that can keep you coming back and trying to improve your scores even after you've already cleared the earlier difficulties. Some stages even have secret exits, meaning that if you can perfect those, you can really tighten up your run and make it to the extra stages, which are a set of stages for each difficulty level that you can unlock by beating every stage without losing a life, or if you're playing expert mode, without losing a continue. Look at how brutal this can get if you're not playing slow and careful. Monkeys bouncing, smacking against the stage after falling, the ball's going so fast that sparks fly off of them. Wait, no, not that. And like, it makes me wonder why Ai and Mimi are cool with letting their baby be a part of this. This literal child is getting thrown around and shit, and with one wrong move, he could be thrust into the nether. I know that they're monkeys, so they might not have as much regard for the lives of their young as humans do, but we've already established that they have marriage and therefore religion, so personally I think they should be a little more careful so as to not send their one and only child straight to monkey hell. You heard it here first, speedrunners are child abusers. Think about it. But I'm not a speedrunner. I'm the common man. And I'm happy to say that the game holds up really well in a casual setting. The difficulty curve feels natural even though it moves quickly, and the game really pushes trial and error as a means of fixing your mistakes and continuing to get better at it. The practice mode, where you can play any individual stage that you've already come across in the main game, furthers this and is especially useful for stages that you repeatedly bleed continues on. Going back to play Advanced after several failed attempts at Expert really put into perspective how great the difficulty curve is for this game. Tiny tightrope paths that had given me so much trouble before now looked much more accommodating and manageable after seeing how thin the paths can become in Expert mode. What previously took countless attempts and required many continues to get through, I could now manage in just a few lives. I'd gradually gotten better at the game without even realizing it, and that is the brilliance of Monkey Ball. Some people say the game is unforgiving, which it definitely can be, but between the perfect difficulty curve and the practice mode, it gives you all the tools you need to succeed. Though I think it is a testament to the game's legendary difficulty that even the optional playable credits sequence, which is an incredibly early 2000s thing to do, provides a serious, merciless challenge. Speaking of that challenge, Monkey Ball is one of the most tense goddamn games I have ever played in my life, but in a fun, a rewarding way. The gameplay alone can already be very nerve-wracking, but couple that with the strict time limits and the fantastic soundtrack, and it goes to the next level. The music in this game screams early 2000s game. I don't know what it is exactly, but it seems that all their Dreamcast and early Gamecube era titles have this feel with their soundtracks. The synths and guitars sound wonderfully dated and provide the perfect musical backdrop for the practice of deliberately throwing monkeys into harm's way. For all my musician friends watching this, listen to this guitar tone and weep for the loss of a bygone era. Every other aspect of the presentation is also fantastic for building that atmosphere. The enthusiastic narrator, the fact that you get to see a replay after you finish a level, this fucking monkey diner in the background of the fucking guitar level. Perfection. And of course, if we're talking about playing Monkey Ball in a casual setting, we gotta talk about the party games! The GameCube had a ton of great multiplayer games, and while the main mode of Monkey Ball works great for that, the party games are where the real fun is. We have 3 of them here. Monkey Race, Monkey Fight, and Monkey Target. Monkey Race is hot garbage. I know I was just like praising how great the party games are, but I don't fuck with Monkey Race. Nah, no, what you want are Monkey Fight and Monkey Target. Monkey Fight is a complete mess of a game. The physics are slippery, the controls imprecise, and half the time I have absolutely no idea what's going on. It is magical. All these things should make the game worse, but somehow they only manage to make it more fun. The sheer raw chaos that is Monkey Fight is unlike anything else that I've ever experienced. It gets your adrenaline going like no other game, and coupled with the vaguely phallic-sounding power-ups that you can get to upgrade your fucking boxing glove fist, it is a multiplayer experience that cannot be replicated by any lesser games.
Also, the fact that you can punch the camera after you win is like amazing.
While Monkey Fight is already a near-religious experience, Monkey Target is essentially perfection. It's a pretty simple concept. You roll your monkey down this ramp to build up momentum, and when you reach the end, you push A to open up your ball and take flight. You then fly forward towards the islands in the distance, targets which are set up sort of like dartboards. Push A again to fall, and when your monkey stops moving, the number you've landed on gets added to your score. Unless, of course, you bounce off, roll off, or otherwise end up drowning in the water. Then you get nothing. There's so many layers of strategy to this that aren't immediately obvious just from that description alone. If you steer your monkey downwards, you'll speed up, and if you steer upwards, you'll slow down. Seems simple enough, right? Just keep up enough speed to get to the target, then slow down when you get to it. Well, not quite. Because if you try to drop your monkey when you're too high up, your ass is out of there. Oh, no problem, you might think. Just slow down earlier so you come in closer to the target. Oh, well, sure, that'll work, as long as you don't slow down too quickly, end up unable to get your momentum back, and drown an innocent monkey. You really need to strike that perfect balance to even land on the target, much less get that specific score you're aiming for. This is ignoring the fact that the game has options for items, which I'd never actually been sure how you use items prior to this review. But what happens is that if you collect a banana during one turn, you'll get the option of using an item on the next. If you opt not to use it and then collect more bananas, you can actually get the option to use better items in sort of a tier system. This adds an extra layer of depth to the game, as does the optional Wheel of Danger, which you randomly spin at the beginning of each round to add obstacles to the map. But if you want to play true competitive Monkey Target, you turn that shit off and make the game about your own raw skill. People say Melee was the best competitive fighting game on the GameCube, but come on. Monkey Target's been staring the Smash community in the face this entire time, and they're refusing to give it the recognition it deserves. Oh, huh? What's this on the main menu? Minigames? Oh, I guess this is just where they put the less original party games. I mean, the party games are all pretty original concepts, I guess excluding Monkey Race. But here all we have are...
Monkey billiards.
Yeah, and...
Monkey bowling.
And...
Monkey golf.
Well, I guess since the games are mini, I'll give a mini opinion on each game as well. God, I'm clever. Monkey Billiards is pretty good. Possibly my favorite of the three. The fact that the pool balls have monkeys inside them is a really cute touch. I mean, other than that, it's just pretty much billiards. Although I do think it's worth noting that this power bar mechanic is also a central focus of monkey bowling and monkey golf. Maybe that's why these aren't listed as party games. They just all happen to share a playstyle that none of the party games do. Monkey bowling's pretty okay too, though I don't know how I feel about the decision to have the steering of the ball be a required thing to stop at random, much like the power bar mechanic but less precise. The spin you can do with L and R feels like it was only added to compensate. Also, the background looks kinda nice, but very unfinished. Don't know what happened there. Monkey Golf is really interesting to me, and I feel like it might be the strongest minigame. It's definitely got the right amount of content and control over the mechanics. It's weird because in addition to the power bar mechanic being factored into how hard you yeet your monkey, there's also basically like a gear system. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like you're changing gears on your monkey bike, but your monkey bike is actually like a monkey golf ball, and like, I don't know, man. I suppose it adds another layer to the game, but that also makes it more difficult. It's definitely a lot of fun though. I think this is the minigame that suits multiplayer the best. But of course, the quality of this game does not rest upon the quality of Monkey Golf, and as far as I'm concerned, Super Monkey Ball is an absolute classic. One of the best games that the Gamecube has to offer, and while it seems to be largely forgotten, the fact that it still has as big a fan following as it does, especially in the speedrun community, really speaks to how great a game it is. Not to mention how well it still holds up in a casual multiplayer setting. My interest in the game started because one of my friends used to bring it over to my house all the time, and since getting my own copy last year, I've introduced the game to a ton of people, and it's proven itself as a worthy party game. And while Monkey Ball itself is a fantastic experience, the sequel would be legendary.
Also, the fact that you can punch the camera after you win is like amazing.